Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the HGUC Zudah. So yeah, this is one of those HG kits that I think is loved by some people and just not really all that well known by a lot of people. So I'm glad to have the chance to just share this with you guys. This was just something I picked up, again, as I said in the unboxing, it was just sort of a challenge to myself because there's aspects of this design that I really hate and there's other stuff that I really like. So I'll go over that in this review. And maybe at the end, I don't know, maybe talk a little bit about what my plans are or save that for the actual work in progress video. But I do have plans for this kit, so you guys will maybe see that relatively soon. Got a lot of stuff in the works at the moment, but do have some plans for this. So yeah, overall the design is pretty cool. It's definitely got some very, very unique features. Those arms, even like the waist armor has that very kind of like knight kind of look to it, sort of similar to the Zeon, how the Zeon was sort of like modeled in a way to look sort of like a medieval knight, sort of. This one definitely has some features like that as well. And most notably, I think, would be that skirt armor. It's very much in that kind of style. Not really anything else, though. I guess the legs sort of, kind of, maybe as well. Similar kind of in a way to the Zeon, but in a little bit more ugly way. And then just that really kind of boxy chest. I don't know, there's this whole design, there's a lot of kind of clashing features in my mind, so it's a kind of odd one, really. And then like the backpack is just that box with the big thruster sticking out of the back of it, out of the main part. And then it's got these little thruster bells like off the corners of the backpack and on the back of the legs. Really kind of similar to like Gundam Thunderbolt. Yes, it's an interesting kit for sure. And then that like claw feature, kind of spike feature on the shield that can like fold out and be his melee weapon as well. So yeah, basically, just stop this. I just got one question for you. What are those? What are those? What are these feet in those giant clown shoes? Is he wearing Crocs or what? This thing is absolutely ridiculous. What is with those feet? Those are the worst, ugliest feet I've ever seen. At least they're kind of unique that they have this thing going on here in the back. But on the front, those are just awful, terrible. And these legs, what's with these chicken legs? They just look so silly. There's no knee armor at all. It's just the joint there. They're so skinny and narrow. And then they just have these thrusters just kind of like stuck on the back of there with like no like structure or anything. It's just awful. It's really terrible. I really hate the legs of this kit. The legs and the feet are just what killed this kit for me. Like I said in the unboxing, I used to really like this design. I really wanted to get this kit. And then I like took a closer look at the legs and I was like, oh, that's really ugly actually. So when you look at it like this, I mean, when you look at it as a whole, the legs don't look that bad because you're pretty much just looking here at this awesome head design and like this all this cool stuff going on up here. You kind of just don't really notice the legs. But if you look at the legs, man, they're so ugly. But let's just move on with the review anyway, because I do want to talk about the articulation and everything. So starting off with the head here, the mono eye can move. We need to open up the top of the head here, kind of carefully. There we go. It's not really engineered in the best way to come off that easily, but it does come off. And then here on the top of the head, you can see there's that little switch there. You can move that side to side, and that will move the mono eye. Like that, so that's pretty cool. We have a clear part there. The actual mono eye is a clear part as well, but you stick this pink sticker on top of it. Now, if you didn't want to do that, you will just have an actual clear part. As for the head itself, we do have a couple different options. So we have this one, which just has the commander antenna. We have this one, which is just like, this will just have like one piece going straight down the middle. And then we'd also have the option of like using this piece, which has like the split there at the top. And then just this piece will just go down the middle. So it'll be just like this without the horn sticking at the top. So you can see it'll just have a little bit different face. So you have three different actual options for the head. Articulation up, like looking up, is not that much. Down is not really all that much. Side to side can just look like that. So the way the head actually is, let me just kind of pull this off to show it to you guys. It's a really kind of odd looking head when it's not actually on the suit. It's really kind of silly looking because it plugs, like, has the whole like neck part, which looks really weird, but on the mobile suit, it looks really cool, I have to say. So here on the chest, we have the arms will move forward. So you have this kind of swinging joint here for the shoulders. Doesn't really swing all that much, though. Obviously, that was perfected much more in later HG kits, like some of the HG kits, like the HG the Origin kits that we have in these days. But then going up, the arms will go up to about there before the shoulder armor is just starting to clash with the body, so really not going to be able to move up all that much. Obviously rotation is fine. We have some rotation here. That's actually here, like at the elbow joint is where that's rotating, not in the upper arm. That's just rotating there, and then a bend, just like a 90-degree bend there in the elbow. So articulation here in the arms, as you can see, is not really all that much. Wrist joint is just on a ball joint. But then the arm can actually pull down like this here. Let me see. Actually, what you need to do is push this top part here, kind of push that down, and there you go. You can see that arm actually will extend. So yeah, I guess I watched a couple of clips from the Igloo series and didn't really see that actually in use much, but it's a kind of cool thing. It has a kind of like piston arm for I guess if you wanted to give someone a hefty punch or something. I don't know. Anyway, and then the shield, the arms are asymmetrical. Obviously, as you can see here, there's kind of like the shape of like the track here, but this one actually has a hollow space that's for this shield mount, can rotate around to the back or to the front if you want, and then the shield will move up and down on there and rotate around. So you have a lot of articulation there. This handle will flip out or flip all the way forward if you want. You can just flip that out, hold that in the hand like so, or I guess maybe the other way would be better, like so, and then these kind of spikes will fold forward like that if you wanted to do some kind of attack with that. I don't know, maybe the hand the other way would be better, but anyway, you get the idea. So then moving down here into the waist, fold that stuff back up. The waist will rotate, but that's it. No moving to the side, no moving forward and back. It's actually a really, really long, just straight peg connection between the top and bottom half, so that's it. That's all there is going on there. Not a whole lot. We have a lot on this like little detail here. It's really reminiscent to like the sleeves in kind of unicorn, but we don't have actually any like white stickers or anything for that. So any kind of white lining you want to do, you have to do that by painting. Some pretty interesting detail here in the skirt armor and all of that as well. But again, just kind of seems to clash. We have like this really kind of mechanical detail here, and this really kind of, like I said, looks kind of like knight armor. The front skirts are molded together as one piece, but you can cut them apart just like usual and then make them individually articulated. So those move like that. The side skirts will also move up and down a little bit, not really a whole lot. We have some attachment points there. We'll get back to that later. Here on the back skirt, they have no movement there, but another kind of like little separate piece up inside there. We'll get back to that later as well. The hips are just on ball joints, so those won't really rotate too much in terms of the legs. They'll go out though to about there, so pretty far, I guess far enough. And then they can go forward nice and far. You can get a nice bend there in the knee, not having any knee armor or anything at all. We have a couple attachment points here as well on the outside of the legs only, not on the inside. So they are specific for the left and the right. On the ankles will move side to side, just a bit like that, so you can get a pretty wide stance out of that. Just nice details underneath, no hollow spaces there. This is kind of like, looks like it's two parts, but there's no actual bend in the foot. It's just kind of all one thing. So this will go down to about there, forward, nice and far forward, no problems with that, but down, not really all that much. So anyway, the articulation for it being a quite older kit is not bad. There's a couple points where it's definitely better than others. Elbows are not that great. Shoulders are fine. The hips are just okay. The knees are pretty good. And the ankles are okay as well. So let's get into the accessories because we have a lot. So first off, the easy stuff is the hands. So I just have holding hands there on the kit. We do also have one extra hand, which is just a trigger finger hand for either the Zaku machine gun or the long rifle, which we'll get to that. So here's the Zaku machine gun, just really standard. The secondary handle moves side to side. I actually have a defect in my part. You can see that part is a little bit warped there. That's unfortunate. I won't be using this, so I guess it's okay, and I'll just have to make a new part for that or something if I end up wanting to use this with a different kit. But it's kind of unfortunate that usually never happens from Bandai kits, but I guess it does tend to happen sometimes. The camera can also move. We also have a pink sticker there for the camera inside the lens of this. Some pretty cool stuff that you can do with this though, if you want, is if you want to take off the ammo drum, Let's see if we can get this off here. Yeah, okay, it doesn't come off all that easily, but once you get that off, then you'll notice we have this peg here on the side, so you can actually peg this onto the side of the leg, which is a little bit goofy. But if you wanted to do that, it's quite long, so you can see it's almost kind of like clashing with the side skirts, and it's almost reaching to the ground. But if you wanted to peg the machine gun onto the side of the leg, you can do that. That's kind of goofy, but yeah, again, then you can't have the ammo drum on there. It would have been nice if they would have made another peg here on the side. Then you can just plug the ammo drum onto the side. Of course, you could very easily modify that, just glue it onto there, wouldn't be a big deal. We do also have a second ammo drum, and these are different. Just as you can see here, the backs of them are different. One of them is for going on the rifle. The other one is just for storage. If you wanted to have just extra ammo, you can just plug this onto the side skirt. Oh, there we go. Onto the side skirt, like that. So you could have it just like that. Just the rifle here and the ammo drum on the side skirt if you wanted. So that's a kind of cool option. Next thing is we get a really standard Zaku heat hawk as well. Nothing really special to this. It's just one part. And just that will just fit into the hand if you want. This can also store on the kit by plugging this into, we have this connection piece here. You can just plug it into that connection piece. It clicks nice and firmly into there, and then just plug that onto the side of the leg as well. So like with other Zaku kits where we're normally storing stuff like on the back skirt, in this one we're just storing stuff on the side of the leg. It's kind of interesting and not really all that appealing to me. Then we do also get this Sturmfaust, which is really cool. I really like this weapon. I like when we get these included with kits. This has an orange tip, which is kind of odd. This one we do also have a connection piece. You can hold it in the hand, of course, but then we have this small little clip. You can actually keep this inside here in the inside of the shield. So just to kind of highlight here as well, you can see we do have some nice detail inside the shield, which is pretty cool. 2 connection points there, but we only get 1 connection piece and 1 grenade. Kind of would have been nice. We would have gotten 2 grenades and 2 connection pieces. You have to press this in here pretty hard because it's a pretty tight connection. There we go. And once it pops into place, then you can just attach the grenade into here and then just have that stored on the inside of the shield, which is pretty cool. Then, of course, the main attraction is going to be this huge gun here. So this thing is really big and very long. It's just over 20 centimeters long, so it's like 20.5 centimeters. It does have a secondary handle which folds out, but like this extra ammo clip on the side kind of blocks it, so you kind of have to remove that, then fold out the handle, then plug this back on. So then you can have that secondary handle folded out. The camera doesn't move. There is a pink sticker in there for that camera lens as well. We do also have the bipod here, just these 2 parts, very simple looking parts, which will fold down there in the front or just fold forward when not in use. We have this handle here on the top as well, just for like carrying that. So that's just like that, and that can also just fold to the side if you wanted. So just with the kit just standing as it is, you can actually put that in the hand and just have it kind of standing with that like so. That's a little bit derpy. The pose isn't exactly correct, but you get the idea what you can do with that handle. So that's a kind of cool thing. And the last thing, just as a reminder, you do get this big huge sticker sheet. I haven't used any of them and I won't, but if you do not mind using stickers, you have a lot of different options here to use on this kit. Now, just as for connecting this to an action base, you'll see under the crotch here we have this little panel. You can just pop that out, and that's a pretty odd looking connection piece because that's a connection that we really don't see all that often. That's for connecting this piece of an action base 2, 1/44 scale action base 2. We'll just plug into that part in there, and you can plug that onto an action base like so. So for a quick comparison, here it is with the Revive HGUC Gyan, one of its brethren here, similar colorway and similar kind of styling, both kind of modeled after a little bit, taking some features of some kind of medieval knight features there. So yeah, the Gyan is going to be a little bit of a taller mobile suit. It's almost 20 meters tall, so it's definitely going to be a little bit taller. The Zudah is going to be just average, around 18 meters in height. So yeah. So here is the Zudah loaded up with all of his weapons in tow. So we got the grenade mounted there in the shield, the rifle and the heat hawk mounted onto the side of the legs, and the long rifle in hand. Now, of course, we do have a couple other just like little option parts which would be off to the side. But for those people who do like when a mobile suit can actually hold all of its weapons, this one can do that. So just wanted to illustrate that here for you guys. One thing I did also forget to mention is that that big main thruster there in the center of the backpack. That also is on a ball joint, so that will move around a little bit as well if you want. Not really a whole lot, but it does move a little bit if you wanted to use that for some sort of pose, I guess. So despite this kit having some definite weak points in its articulation, as you can see here, you can still get some pretty cool poses and everything out of it. So the articulation, I mean, in certain areas is not really the best, but overall, Poseability is still pretty good. So I think that's pretty cool. And obviously the main star weapon of this kit is going to be that huge long rifle. But, I mean, with all the different weapon options that you get with it and everything, there's a lot of really cool poses that you can do with this in terms of just the other like melee attacks like this with the Heat Hawk or with the spiked shield and things like that. So there's a lot of really cool options that you could do with this that I could definitely see justifying getting a couple of these kits and maybe making a team of them with different weapons mounted, like having one as a sniper, one as a melee suit, and the other one as just like kind of with the machine gun and grenades or something would be pretty cool. Because like I said, you could mount 2 grenades in there, but you only get one with the kit. But if you had a couple of the kit, then you could do that and just sort of mix and match parts and things like that. So it would definitely be cool to make 2 or 3 of these and paint them up and have them as a team. And again, we do have the different stickers and different head options as well you can do with that. So definitely a kit that wouldn't be bad to have more than one of. So as for any really notable negative points of the kit, there's really not a whole lot, I guess. It's got some seam lines, like the lower legs and upper legs are just like seam straight down the middle of those. That's really to be expected with an older HG. Same thing with the forearms and the upper arms. Not the shoulder parts of the upper arms anyway. Seam lines there and there, but again, just with an older HG, seam lines is not anything that should come as a surprise to anyone. Stickers, it has a whole lot of stickers, which I think is, for people who use stickers, is a big plus. It doesn't really have anything in terms of foil stickers though, except for just the 3 pink ones for the mono eye and the cameras on the machine gun and the rifle. So I don't know, maybe some people would want, because this does have, again, just some really thin white lining. The thing is that even if they gave us stickers for the white lining on this kit, the lining part is so thin that the stickers wouldn't really work. So really kind of the only negatives about this are just, for me, the design of the legs and feet especially is just awful. But in terms of like other things, negatives, I think the positives, like gimmicks in the arms, like a kind of piston gimmick in the arms, and just all the different weapon and accessory options you have with this kit, those pros definitely far outweigh the cons of this kit. So before I wrap up the review here, just wanted to also quickly point out the fact that the mobile suit actually can hold up the rifle in one arm. Of course, I do have it kind of tucked up underneath the shoulder there, so that is definitely helping. But the arm feels strong enough. I mean, just the shoulder and the elbow joint. The wrist is going to sag a little bit there, but that's not too bad depending on the pose you want to do. So just wanted to quickly just illustrate the fact that if you do, for whatever reason, want to have a one-handed pose holding the rifle, there are ways to do that. So it's not one of those where you absolutely have to use both hands to hold it. So that's pretty cool. So that is going to pretty much wrap up my review of this kit. It's an older kit. It's got some ugly design features in my personal point of view, and it's got some seams and all of that. But overall, I think this is a really cool kit. A probably too often overlooked kit just because of its age. And like I said in the unboxing, I think the cover art doesn't really do a good job of highlighting some of the more interesting features and accessories included with this kit. So definitely check it out if you like what you've seen here in this review, and you think that this might be something that you could do something cool with. I've got an idea for this kit that I think will be pretty cool. We'll have to just try it out. I've got to kind of do some testing to do some kit bashing with this kit. So we'll see. There's some steps that I know I want to take and some other steps that I'm not quite sure about quite yet. So I've got to build up the other kit that I want to be using for this first, and then I can start kind of mixing and matching and see exactly how I want to do that kit bashing. So I'll go over that in the work in progress once I start working on that. Should be a little bit later, but I'll share that with you guys soon enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do have any other questions or comments, you can leave those down below. And there's just one last thing left for me to do.